Let's talk about business partnerships. Those collaborations that start with so much promise, so much excitement, but then, more often than not, just fizzle out. Today, we're going to dive into a playbook for making them actually work, for making them thrive. And it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea.
So, why does this happen? We've all seen it, right? Two great companies, a fantastic idea, everyone's high-fiving, and 6 months down the line, it's totally dead in the water. What is the hidden force that causes so many of these promising ventures to just crumble?
Now, you might think it's a bad contract, or maybe the CEOs just didn't get along. But honestly, the real problem is usually way deeper than that. It's not about that initial agreement, that handshake. It's all about maintaining a very delicate, ongoing balance of value.
And this brings us to what I like to call the partnership paradox. On one hand, the potential for growth and success is absolutely massive, but on the other, the failure rate is just staggeringly high. So how do we solve this? How do we actually tip the scales in our favor? Well, the solution isn't some crazy, complicated secret. It's a really powerful framework called the value exchange. And trust me, it is the absolute heart of every single great partnership you've ever seen. So what is it exactly? A value exchange is basically a system, a structured way of thinking that makes sure any partnership is fair, that you can actually measure its success, and that it's built to last. It's really about moving past just hoping it'll work and creating a real plan for success. And this, right here, this is the crucial mindset shift. So many failed partnerships are stuck in that transactional view on the left, constantly asking, what's in it for me? What am I getting? The value exchange flips that entirely. It starts by asking a much better question. What amazing thing can we build together that neither one of us could possibly build on our own? It's a total game changer.
Okay, so where do we start with this? How do we put it into practice? Well, it all begins with a really clear, honest look at what each side is bringing to the party. Let's get practical.
First, you have to look in the mirror. What are your unique strengths? What are you really offering? Is it access to a market they can't reach? Do you have some game-changing new tech? Is your brand name a huge stamp of approval? Or maybe you're just incredibly good at the operational side of things. You have to know this stuff cold. And then, naturally, you flip it around. You have to be just as clear about what you stand to gain from them. Are you getting their expertise, access to their huge distribution network? Maybe it's a critical piece of technology you need to integrate, or the financial fuel to really grow. And listen, this isn't about being greedy. It's about being crystal clear on the why. So once you know all the individual pieces you're both bringing, it's time to figure out what you're going to build together. This is the fun part. This is where you define that shared victory, that mutual win that makes the whole thing worth doing. And you've got to get specific here. Don't just say you want growth. What does that mean? Are we talking pure revenue growth, getting your brand in front of more eyeballs, expanding into a new market? And super important, you have to rate the impact of each one. This forces that honest conversation about priorities right from the get-go. Okay, so you've done all the strategic legwork. You know the value going both ways. You know what the big win looks like. So what's next? How do you take all this understanding and turn it into a truly rock-solid agreement? This is where you actually build the structure of your deal. You have to nail down these 4 key things. Who's contributing what? Resources, money, people, time? How are you going to handle intellectual property? What does the revenue sharing model look like? And how long is this thing going to last? Get these 4 pillars right, and you've got a fantastic foundation. But here's the thing so many people forget. A signed agreement is just the starting line. It is not the finish line. The real work, the hard work, is turning that partnership into a living, breathing success story for the long haul. Long-term success requires you to pay attention. You have to be constantly on the lookout for imbalances. What happens if one partner ends up putting in way more work than you planned for? That's why you need risk mitigation strategies already in place. And this is non-negotiable. You have to set a regular timeline for reviews. A partnership that doesn't get reviewed is a partnership that's pretty much guaranteed to drift apart. So when you do those reviews, what are you looking at? Data. You have to agree on your key performance indicators, your KPIs, from day one. You can and should track the hard numbers, like ROI or cost reduction, but please don't forget the softer side of things. Sometimes just asking, hey, is our partner happy with how this is going, can be the most valuable KPI you have. So if you boil this all down, the ultimate takeaway here is a huge shift in how you see these things. You have to stop looking at partnerships as just static, one-and-done deals. The very best ones are dynamic. They're living systems. They need care, they need attention, and they need a constant focus on keeping that value exchange in perfect balance.
And that leaves us with one last powerful question. This is the one I want you to take with you and ask of any partnership, current or future. This is the ultimate test. Is the value being exchanged equitable? Is it measurable? And is the whole thing sustainable for the long-term success you both crave? If you can get a solid yes on all three, well, then you don't just have a deal. You have a real partnership.